1,000 years, 1,000 years of peace. 1,000 years, 1,000 years, 1,000 years of peace. 'Righteousness cover the earth, little children play and sing. Overpowered for feeling, make me wanna jump and sing it. 1,000 years, 1,000 years, 1,000 years of peace. 1,000 years.
Cultural mix. Cultural mix. Every Friday afternoon 6 to 8 p.m. with Bev Moonchild and Fit FM 96.7. And we tune in every Friday. We love you. Aisha Roxanne.
1,000 years of peace. Yeah. Oh, 1,000 years. Oh, 1,000 years.
1,000 years of peace. Friends, wherever you are, family, wherever you are, we say a very good evening to you. It is Cultural Mix and it is Friday, April 9, 2021. We are in the studios of Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. I am Bev Moonchild, your host for this evening. And of course, you know we are grateful to be here. It's your Friday evening program and we want you to stay with us until around about 8 o'clock. That's what, 2 hours? We thank you for always being here. And we are happy for those who have joined us already. All the very best to those people on Facebook. Donna Lemonius, you're joining in already. Yvonne, we big you up. Dr. Asha, yes. And Gillian, what a program Gillian have last night. No, Gillian, you must behave yourself. You broke out some people, we now call the name. Hi, Julia. All is well. All is well. We want all the communities to check in at this moment for Cultural Mix. So we're going to call you out, right? And if you are in any of the communities, we want you to tell us where you are checking in from, right? So we want everybody to check in. We want the parishes to check in. We want the different countries because, you know, once we go Facebook and once we are on fitfmja.com, you know the whole world can check in. So we want everybody to check in this very minute as we go through Cultural Mix this evening. Another interesting show we have lined up for you. Everyone listening on the 96.7, we hail you up. And if you are on fitfmja.com, we welcome you to Cultural Mix. Thank you so much. Of course, you know, we're going to say Akwaba. And Akwaba is our African word for welcome. We welcome one, we welcome all, we welcome everyone. On all social media platforms, you can find Fit FM. You can also call or text 876-482-4944 or 876-317-1991. That is mainly for texting. 317-1991 is for texting. But if you want to call, text and call? Yes. Okay. 482-4944, right? So you have options. You have options. Also on YouTube, you can check out this very program and all the other programs. You can see Fit FM on YouTube. We ask you that you share this program with your friends. Like it and share it. As them say, like and share. We want the program to grow. We want the station to become larger than anybody else or any other station. So we ask you to just work with us, share with your friends, and tell them to share with their friends so we can have a very, very, very interesting program this evening. All right? Cultural mix, if you're just joining us this evening, and for those of you who, need to be reminded, it's everything cultural, observing and highlighting cultural practices and traditions, cultural diversities. We do interviews, we play music, we interact with listeners. Cultural mix is an interactive program. So we like when you talk back with us, right? Let us know how you're feeling, you know. If you have any suggestions, we will welcome them. And so we gave you the numbers earlier that you can text on, share in the discussion that we're going to be having. Invite a friend to like the Fit FM Facebook page. And you can also search for me on Bev Moonchild Culture and Lifestyle. That's my Facebook page. And also on Instagram, Bev Moonchild. Remember, we're streaming live, www.fitfmja.com, right? So we are here this evening, third lockdown in what, 3 weeks? Some persons are working with it, some now work out so good because, in fact, it's a stressful situation and we just need to admit it. There are some people who really can't deal with it at all, and some are able to, to manage through. But we are watching to see what will happen after this third lockdown, right? Thank you. We want to thank Imara because the last time you saw us was the end of March, that last show in March. So we want to thank Imara. Imara, all know people are talking about that show. Me no know what me I gonna do. I don't know what I can do to top that one, Imara. Even the repeat people are talking about. It is really, really, really good to have you in studio. Thanks for your perspective on such matters, Imara, as it relates to the importance of the female energy. Really engaging discussion we had there. And you also made us laugh too, sir. We nearly did with laugh. Imara, you must behave yourself. Right? Okay. So we're not tell you next time, so you must behave yourself. And matter of fact, people love the laughter and they love the engagement and so on. We can't be too in ourselves, So thank you so much for that, Imara. It's Friday, April 9, and we want you to stay with us. Before we even go any further, we have a birth date shout out. And guess whose birthday it is today? Colonel Marcia Douglas of the Charlestown Maroons. So, Colonel, we want to hail you up, and we know that you are having an awesome solar return, and we know who will make it even better for you. Sir Rodney, we know you will make everything good. So, Colonel, we want to big you up on your birth date today. Continue to enjoy the evening. I have another shout out too, and I have a new sister now, and her name is Kay. So, Kay, we want to bless you up. Bless you, my dear. Blessings, my new sister. Thank you, Kay, and love always, my dear. Take it easy over there in Portland, right? So we are here, and we want to thank you for being with us. It really has been an awesome time here on Cultural Mix, and we're coming down to our 1 year, because May going to be a year since we are on air with Cultural Mix. So, and we like what is happening. So we thank you so much. And we want you to continue being with us. Just continue to grow and share with us. Okay, a few people are on, so I just want to acknowledge some people who are on. Thank you, Essence, for being here. Donna Lemonis, that's Essence Web. Coral Spring Trelawney, check in. Coral Spring, yes. Donna is in Kingston, we know, and we know Yvonne is in Maryland. So everybody checking in. We know Dr. Asha is in Clarkstown. So everybody checking in. Andrea Vassell, she's in Canada. So big up yourself, Andrea. She's checking in. And Victor Barron, blessings and greetings from the source of the...
he's from Uganda.
Yes, wow, the River Nile.
Yes.
The River Nile in Uganda, East Africa. Nice program. Thank you. Thank you. Blessings and honor. Victor. So you see?
Yes.
Uganda. Right. Kay. Bless up, Imara. Kay is blessing you up. Okay, good evening, Kay. All the very best. Yes. Portlanders, and she's shouting out for the Portlanders. Dave Lewis over there in Spanish Town. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. So we really want to thank you. Keep the feedback coming in. We really appreciate it. That is what helps us because it's an interactive program. So we want for you to stay with us and keep us going. Now, I don't know what. This evening, we have a culture in this country that we need to talk about. We need to address it and we need to face it. And this evening, we're going to be talking about it. It is hurting our women, it is hurting our girls, and it is hurting everybody. It is a culture of silence. It is a culture of minor business. It is a culture of a fidden business. That culture, we need to break it. We need to understand that when we hurt our women, when we hurt our girls, we are hurting everybody. So coming up in this discussion later on in the program, we're going to be talking to our main guest about this cultural decay, of course, is what I term it as. But before we go, we are going to be talking to the man who called himself Jabba Gordon. Jabba, are you on air?
Yes, blessings.
How are you, my brother? Greetings. Welcome to the studios of Fit FM 96.7 and welcome to Cultural Mix. Good to have you.
Nice. I'm glad to be here, sir.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am, and I can hardly hear you now.
You can't hear so well.
No, I can't hear it. It's like it's echo.
There's an echo.
Yeah.
Okay, any better now?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm close to it now. Go ahead.
Okay, so Jabba, tell us a little about yourself as an artist. Where in Jamaica are you from, or where were you born, Jabba? Because this is cultural mixing, so we want a little of the background before we even do any kind of talking.
All right. This is Clement Jabba Gordon. I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah.
And growing up as a little boy, Jabba, what are some of the things you remember as a youth that you carried it into your life as an adult?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. See, growing up, I went back and forth all around. I live all over Kingston, you know. And I went to three. Yes, I live all over Kingston. Waterhouse, Waltham Park, Mall Road, Midland Road. I live out at East, West, North, and South. Yeah. And the schools I went to was Russell School, Tarrant, and Halfway Tree School.
Halfway Tree.
Bug now. Yeah.
The music bug bite you.
Going to Russell. Yeah. Well, from going to Russell School, Light Parks, them, you know.
Okay, so from them, you're coming from those times, as you mentioned, Light Parks. It means you're coming from those times.
Yes, and Halfway Tree School with Ansel Collins. Yeah, coming back from Beerjan Opportunity now. Oh yeah. So Ansel Collins is one. That's my inspiration right there.
Okay. Because I was gonna ask you, you know, who are the people who kind of inspire you in the business? But your name Ansel Collins, which himself is one of the greats, you know.
Right.
So coming up now, Jabba, I hear the song. We're gonna be playing it later on called Granny. What was the inspiration behind that song?
Well, Granny, my grandmother.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you something about my grandmother. If she tell you to run, then you can run.
Yes.
And if she tell you to walk, please walk. Don't run.
Because what going to happen after?
I am telling you.
Old time granny, 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 the old time granny, Granny, granny. My grandmother used to tell me, say, grandson, we're out there. My grandmother used to tell me, say, grandson, we're out there. She said, no, hang your hat where you can't reach it. No, put all your eggs in a one basket. Look, me say, before you leave what you sow, you shall surely reap. No run, me say, follow bad company. Oh, me no got no money. Sit down, make me tell you about the little country. Then she start to tell the history. She tell me about Park Hope. She tell me about William Gordon. She tell me about Norman Manley. She tell me about Bustamante. She tell me about Marcus Garvey. Don't you forget Pom Nanny. Granny, the old time granny. Granny, 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 the old time granny. Granny, granny, said William Granville was a good man. Don't forget Kojo the Maroon man. She tell me about 1938. That was the time of adult suffrage. So look, before you leave what you sow, you shall surely reap. Look, me say, before you leave what you sow, you shall surely reap. No run, me say, follow bad company. Oh, me no got no money. Granny,
Left moonshine, I hear me. That's on the back, that's on the come. Play it again, play it again. We tune in, a Fit FM 96.7. We tune in. Play that tune again, then. We love it.
Granny, the old time granny. Granny, 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 the old time granny. Granny, granny, my grandmother used to tell me, say, grandson, we're out there. My grandmother used to tell me, say, grandson, we're out there. She said, no, hang your hat where you can't reach it. No, put all your eggs in a one basket. Look, me say, before you leave what you sow, you shall surely reap. No run, me say, follow bad company. Oh, me no got no money. Sit down, make me tell you about the little country. Then she start to tell the history. She tell me about Park Hope. She tell me about William Gordon. She tell me about Norman Manley. She tell me about Bustamante. She tell me about Marcus Garvey. Don't you forget Pom Nanny.
So that was a song from Jabba, you know, Granny, my old time granny. We got him back? Okay, Jabba.
Hello.
Greetings, and we like the song, man.
I love that. Thank you very much.
We like the song because it kind of fit in with cultural mix, you know? Some of the things your granny tell you, look before you leap, and what you sow, you shall also reap. We know all of those Jamaican sayings, and for you to put it in a song, it really tie in with what we do here on Cultural Mix. So
turn the volume a little bit for me, please.
Right, so we are saying the words of your song, we see and we hear some of the Jamaican sayings in it, you know?
Yeah.
Look before you leap, and what you sow, you shall reap. Those little sayings?
Yes,
right,
definitely.
So we kind of so what is up for Jabba now? What's the next project for you?
I am in the studio doing some more new materials. You know, I'm doing some new materials coming up, and I just did Beetroot Reggae. You know.
Okay, you were on.
And I did. Huh?
You were on Beetroot Reggae.
Yes, and also was on for Reggae Month. I did Reggae Month also.
Okay.
I did, yeah, and you know, so I'm in the studio.
Putting in the work. Putting in the work.
Putting in the work. Oh yeah.
Right. How has the corona impacted you? How has the COVID-19 impacted you?
Well, I mean, it keep me in the studio. Yes, make us stay in the studio for real.
Yes.
And it's a problem,
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem. The world, so the whole world have a problem right now.
That we have to try and solve it, know. Yes. Because we can't be on the lockdown forever, Jabba. So we have to find a way to deal with this. I said we can't under lockdown forever, so we have to find a way to deal with it,
Yeah, and just protect yourself, You have to wear your mask and do your sanitizing,
Right. So we hope you are doing the same thing too.
Oh yes, most definitely.
Good.
Most definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
So when the new material come out, Jabba, you share it with us so we can keep them playing here on Fit FM.
I definitely sure will do that.
Please.
And I'm thanking all my fans all over.
Yeah, man. Thank them.
All over the West. My parents is my father. He come from Hanover. I have other family living in Westmoreland,
Okay, and they are hearing us from those parishes.
Yeah.
Right, man. So definitely. As soon as those new material come out, then and people are bigging you up on Facebook, Jabba.
Thanks very much.
Yes, man.
And did you? I will get the
other music. Yes,
soon.
I would love to hear it.
Yes,
so we can play it for the listeners.
Right, definitely. I will do that.
All right,
and
Jabba.
I wish I had problems with you. I'll let you know about problems.
Yes, man. Please, all of the material that you have, you can just send them so we can go through and share them with our listeners, because we want to hear some different kind of music. We want to hear different material. Definitely. We want to hear from different artists,
Yes.
And you have been coming from a long time. So you, of course, would have things that we can learn from. You would, of course, can put songs together that even the younger artists can learn from, and we can understand from where the music is coming from. You understand me?
Definitely.
Right. So we want to thank you, Jabba.
And thank you for having me.
Yes, man.
And blessing up,
All the very best.
Everyone.
Yes, all the very best for the weekend. And you take care, man.
Okay, then. Thank you very much.
All the best, Jabba. And
granny to the world.
Yeah.
Granny to the world. Big up all the grandmothers.
Granny to the world. All the grandmothers, yes.
You have young grandmothers too,
Yeah, man. We know the young granny them.
Okay.
All right, Jabba. Right. Take care.
Me no got no money. Sit down, make me tell you about the little country. Then she start to tell the history. She tell me about Park Oval. She tell me about William Gordon. She tell me about Norman Manley. She tell me about Bustamante. She tell me about Marcus Garvey. Don't you forget your pom-pom nanny. Granny, the old time granny. Granny, 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 the old time granny. Granny, granny, said William Granville was a good man. Don't forget Roger the Maroon man. She tell me about 1938. That was the time of adult suffrage. So look, before you reap what you sow, you shall surely reap. Look, me say, before you reap what you sow, you shall surely reap. No road me say follow bad company. Oh, me no got no money. Granny, me old time granny. Granny, 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 me grandmother used to tell me, say, grandson, we're out there. Me grandmother used to tell me, say, grandson, we're out there. She said, no, hang your hat where you can't reach it. No, put all your eggs in a one basket. Look, me say, before you leave what you sow, you shall surely reap. No run, me say, follow back company. Oh, me no got no money. See, don't make me tell you about Granny, the old time granny.
Granny. Yes, that is Granny there from Clement Jabba Gordon. We had a quick chat with him. And him say COVID keep him in the studio. You know, COVID has done some good things for some people. So we thank Jabba Gordon there for stopping by with us. People on Facebook, Donna Lemonius, love your program, Bev. Thanks, my dear. We want to big up Kay. Kay, oh Lord, Kay is my new sister, people. So we want to big up Kay over there in Portland. Kay, hey, can you imagine? Two name matching, sounding alike, first name and second name. So my brother Philip is checking in, and he's in Turks and Caicos. Big up yourself, Philip. Andre Vassal, hi Clement. Okay, so Clement was getting big ups, man. And even Jillian, our sister Jillian, saying Jabba like she know Jabba. You know, so Clement, we want you to continue doing the work and putting in the work as we go through this challenging times. People, we have a whole heap of things to talk about. It is affecting us, and we can't hide from it. We can't run from it. And this evening, we're going to be really talking about this. It is distressing. It is, I don't know what to call it. It's a cultural issue, and we have to put it in perspective, and we have to talk about it. A lot of us are blinding our eyes, and I term it a cultural blind eye. We blind our eye to the things that we see, and we not talk, and we're lip sealed because I know we, you know. And when it hit home now, we say that's the time we are ready to talk. But we have to be talking from early. We have to. This is not nipping in the bud now, because this is a big old tree. This now, where we have to go find axe to cut it down. It is terrible. I have an article here, you see, that I'm just gonna be reading. Just a quick section of it as we prepare to speak with Donnery, our guest this evening. And you talk about pandemic. You don't hear how this thing is being referred to. It's an Observer article, and it was in the Observer on Wednesday of this week, April 7, 2020. A public health emergency is how several top-flight prosecutors have described the influx of sexual offense cases with young female as the victims presenting before the island's courts, particularly in rural circuits. We have been seeing a lot of sex cases. Prosecutors are tired of it. Can you imagine? It is terrible. It is a public health emergency. These are not my words. I'm reading the article. It is ridiculous, one prosecutor told the Jamaica Observer. As the chilling details emerge in the various halls of justice, the prosecutors say a number of factors have surfaced, which are accounting for the situation which they are describing as a pandemic in its own right. Can you imagine? And it goes on to talk about the perpetrators. They range from fathers, boyfriends, family friends, relatives to community residents, including taxi and bus drivers. Children who become victims are often left unsupervised for extended periods. Those whose parents lack the necessary skills and who are from impoverished backgrounds. People, we have a problem. St. Thomas, St. Mary, St. Catherine, and Westmoreland, the Observer was told, are the parishes with the most red flags. People, we need to talk about this. I call it a crime against women, a crime against girls in Jamaica. We have to call it what it is, because if we keep hiding behind all kind of thing, I hear now it is now being referred to as acquaintance violence. When these things happen, because it is somebody you know who do it to you, it is now referred to as acquaintance violence. People, we need to talk what it is. It is a crime against women, a crime against girls, and we need to talk what is causing these criminals to behave this way, because these are criminal behavior. I was reading something on Facebook where it was one of my friends on Facebook. I'm trying to remember who it was. Her 8-year-old daughter was saying, these people who are killing people, I wonder if something is wrong with them and they may not have any love, or they may be sad about something. And so they're taking it out on killing people. This is coming from the voice of an 8-year-old girl, little girl, who is watching these things obviously on the news. And she's saying, these persons who are killing people, maybe they're sad, and we need to look at those kind of things. Something is happening. And because of the culture of me no care, I'm in a business because I know me, it now has spiraled into something that we cannot control. But we have to pull it back. We have to everybody have to jump in now and pull the rope, because how far it going to go? When I looked on something, I was trying to find out how many girls and women have disappeared. And I just zeroed in on March a little. And it is four in March alone. 20-year-old Kenise Jackson, a 32-year-old female in Waterford, St. Catherine, missing. 44-year-old teacher now found dead. Her body was found yesterday, badly decomposed. And another body of a 50-year-old was found in shallow grave. This is serious. What do we need to talk about it? And it can't be left just to a certain people to talk about it. Every single one of us have to talk about it in our communities, in our churches, because it's happening at the church them too. It's happening in the schools. Anywhere we meet, 1 and 2, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this with our boys. When we are growing mothers who are growing boy children, we have extra work to do, because these crimes are committed by men and boys, albeit some of them is aided and abetted by the very women, the very relatives of these girls, because in one of the cases, the grandmother pimping off the children. So we have to talk about it, and we can't go around anymore. We can't be afraid. We can't be shy. We just have to talk it and call it what it is. It is a crime, and we need to speak about it. We're going to be talking to Donnery. She's on? Okay. Donnery?
Hey, Bev, how you doing? I'm here.
Are you with us?
I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Welcome again,
Awesome.
Because you've been on Fit FM before.
I have been. Thank you. I think I have been on this station maybe like about 3 times.
What?
Since the starter. So yeah, man. So things are going for me over Fit FM. I feel like family.
Things are going for you. Thank you, Donnery, for coming on. And we're going to be talking about this in a real way, because sometimes people who talk about this kind of issue, I call it, Donnery, a crime against women, a crime against girls. But before we even go into the depth of the conversation, this is a cultural mix. So tell me now, where was Donnery grown, born, raised?
All right, so I'm a country girl, proudly so. I was born in Maroontown, St. James. So that is way up in the hills of southern St. James. I spent all my childhood life there. I left Maroontown and came into Kingston to live in about 2014.
So are you in Maroon?
That's on my birth paper, so I'm born in Maroontown.
So you have Maroon. Yes, you're a Maroon.
I do. I am. I'm from that space. I'm from the rich space. I am from near the Tulla Castle, where the freedom flames were lit.
Yes,
the Christmas Rebellion. I'm from there.
Yes.
I am from up in I'm from the cockpit country. I'm from up in Flagstaff, which was originally Trelawney Town.
Maroons, yes.
And with the battlefield and where the 99 graves of the British soldiers remain as evidence of the militants of our people. So, I mean,
I wonder you have this kind of fire. You can't help yourself.
I can't help it, none at all. So, I always have to be the fire.
You were saying after you left St. James, you went where?
I came to Kingston just to work. And I've remained here, but I go back home very often. I talk to my people often. If ever I feel like I'm down, Bev, I just need to go back there and walk barefoot on the cold mud, and I'm revived.
Yes, touch the ground.
That is where grounding is very important to me. So when I tell people like barefoot for me is a soul sourcing. It gives energy, and we take a lot of things for granted. But just being on maroon soil, it fuels your fire. It gives you balance. It's like a worship session just being in that space. And it's sad though that not a lot of our young people are connected to this space. And so they get so caught up in urbanization, even though they reside there, they are connected to the internet and everything that is foreign, that them they really recognize that the wealth is in that space. And it's just an amazing gift. And I mean, I'm blessed to have been born there. I could have been born anywhere else in the world, but the Almighty chose Maroon Town for me.
So you talk about the mud and dipping your foot and putting your foot. You know that nowadays them call it earthing.
When me get big, me realize people are fancy up this thing.
Yes.
But barefoot for me is like me always get like figure put on shoes.
Yeah.
But there is some sort of electricity when I'm standing on ground, on mud, and especially when it is wet, I find that wet mud, and especially if it is tilled for planting, I find that I like to just walk in at that. That just does something for me.
We are advised to at least once per day to have the feet on the ground and touch the earth. Yes, it's a big thing now. So they're advising people at least once per day to have the feet touch the ground, not concrete tile, you know, the earth. So like people in Kingston now who have no dirt for touch, they still say concrete, you know. They still say if you go on the concrete, it's not bad, but touching the earth with the feet is advised nowadays, my dear. So we who grew up a country, we did have goal and no say a goal we have.
But me did I feel a little tingling and know say something must be there. So
yes. Yes. So you have it in you. You can't keep quiet when you see and hear certain things. You can't help yourself.
Me can't keep quiet. Me get all the lick feet.
Yeah.
And from I was a child, I cannot see injustice being done and walk past with a blind eye. I mean, in primary school, me would have talk out against things. Me not like bullies. Me not like the people or other students either block children out of line or push them aside, and especially the ones that are more disenfranchised than us. I always look out for my fellow brothers and sisters who were not born in circumstances like I was born in.
Good. So, Donnery, that would have taken you into Kingston. But what happened now from being a child, moving into Kingston, growing in Kingston? Did growing in Kingston, did that kind of change? What part of your life changed when you went into Kingston?
All right, so I never grew up in Kingston, you know. I go on to the first time I came to Kingston was in 98 when I came to Excelsior Community College.
Okay.
So as I said before, I spent all of my formative years up until 18. I came to Excelsior Community College, but I went back home to Maroon Town, and then I came back into Kingston for work in 2014, which is very recent.
Yeah.
So all of my sensibilities would have been already formed. My character would have already been formed. Knowing myself already, And so bringing my authentic self into Kingston was a shocker for some people because one person, several people in different ways have said to me not look like how me sound.
Yes.
Or me not sound like how me look.
Yes.
Whatever that means, Jesus mercy, me not know.
Me know what it means. Me know what it means. Me can't tell you what it means.
Okay, tell me what it means, baby.
Let me tell you. I taught at a school in Kingston for years. I taught at St. Peter and Paul Prep for many years. And I spoke to a particular parent on the phone about, matters concerning her child. And then she was to come to school to see me. When she came to school, at that time, I was wearing my locks on my head with a wrap like how it wrap now. And when she came to the door, like she asked for Miss Edwards. So they said, Miss Edwards is there. And she came over and then she heard the voice. And she said, but you don't look like how you sound.
Here I know.
Because some of us kind of learn how to speak standard English. And when we speak standard English and people hear us, they are not looking to see a person who look like me.
Okay, then. Me struggle with standard English even until now, babe. And I have no shame about it. As a matter of fact, me have to do sexy English 3 times to get 1, 2.
You see? And there's no shame. Because it's not our language.
It don't make me less of a person. It does not reduce my smartness or my personhood. And the truth is, when I tell people, say, when I was in high school, whenever me get, if me I do my schoolwork and the question is there for me to answer, me have to translate it in a patois to myself and reason it out in a patois and then me write it in a English. And so when I tell people these things, them say, you're weird. But I found what I needed to do. Because when I became an adult and I was working with the Ministry of Youth through the National Center for Youth Development, I was a youth empowerment officer in St. James.
Okay.
And so I work in all spaces. And for a lesser part, I would work in Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. And I would go to many schools, almost all of the schools I would have gone to. And I remember we visited the school and an adult who worked in another agency asked the child a question. And the child was looking at the person as if, I don't know that language.
Yeah.
You understand? And I can recall the adult asked the child, who is your teacher? To which class do you belong? And the pitney never understand. I mean, I have to say to the pitney, say, which grade you in?
Yeah.
The pitney say, me in a grade 4.
Quick.
I mean, say, what your teacher name? And the child could have told the host the name of the teacher.
Yeah.
And so you know how that disenfranchise a lot of Jamaican children, because them natural language becomes a deficit in the classroom.
Yeah.
It becomes because the learning experience, the teaching learning experience is foreign to them because of how teachers communicate with them. And it is not bad on the child, it is bad on the teacher. If the teacher doesn't recognize that I am Jamaican, so let me know, give the information to the child and help the child bridge that gap. Because I'm not say don't teach the child standard English because they're gonna need it in the working world and as they advance in their education, but learn how to connect the two. And over time, we would have children who are performing in exams. And that's just my belief. I might be wrong, but that's just how I see it because it worked for me, because I had to translate and then write down the answers in standard English, how the teacher wanted it to be marked. And
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. At one point, I was teaching a 20-year-old how to read. Because, and that is one of the things me say, how a picnic leave school, leave grade 6, go high school and turn 20 and cannot read. You believe me? Don't know the sounds of the letters. What the sound will letter A make? And it is the Jamaican language that I had to use. Me just talk to him in a patois because at this time, this is a big man. I really just have to talk to him in a patois, and I can tell you, I was so proud of him. Within 2 months, the man was learning, and it is through the Jamaican language. So you're not wrong, my dear. You're very much on target, and I would want, especially in this time, that our teachers, not only the teachers, but the ministry, recognize what is happening and to just call it what it is and just use the language to teach English. And to teach other subjects too.
And other subjects too, yeah.
Yes. So we kind of understand Donnery now and where she come from, and knows that she can't help herself when she see injustice. Donnery, something is happening in Jamaica, and me not have all of the numbers. I don't have all of the statistics, but we have enough that we can talk about. Right? Before you came on, I was reading about the article you sent me, as a matter of fact, from the Observer. And the judges and everybody, prosecutors, everybody realize them call it a pandemic in itself. What is happening to young women and girls in Jamaica? And I'm saying in March alone, how much me count? 1 20-year-old, 32-year-old, 44-year-old, the teacher who they found her body yesterday, another 50-year-old was found in a shallow grave. What is happening? I think it is a cultural thing. What do you think?
Oh boy, it's rough. First and foremost, it's heavy. I have, the truth is, me lock off just to preserve myself. But I'm not oblivious to what is happening. When I say I lock off, means that I know it's happening, but I wasn't keeping a tracker on the number. I requested some statistics from the JCF, but I didn't get it in time. And as soon as it comes to me, I'm going to be sharing it with you, because I'm sure it can help to advance what you are doing. You mentioned that it is cultural. It's uncomfortable to agree with you, because when we talk about culture, it is supposed to be something that is positive and uplifting. And but let me say, this is not new. We've been seeing it happen. It's been happening for quite a while. The truth be told, because almost every Jamaican now has a smartphone, information is coming to them in bite sizes and fast and furious as well. And so what is happening, I think it is so in everybody's face now that they can't ignore it. But it was happening, but because only families and immediate communities would know about it, them and the local police, and it got to court and it is dealt with. People are alarmed now, but it is not new. If it reached the courts, you are so right, because there is a lot of, and I'm assuming, because if a lot of things are pushed under the carpet, Bev, a lot of people pay off families to keep
silent and don't talk,
which is that in itself, if you accept payment for harm that is done to a child, with a boy or girl, that in itself is a crime against the child.
It is a crime.
It is a crime against the child. And you see, that also festers and manifests itself in a lot of what we are seeing in present day reality. Because if a child recognizes injustice against his or herself, the child will feel betrayed.
Yeah.
And I saw a proverb that says, a village that fails to protect a child or gives a child warmth will feel the fire of that child. And so a lot of what is happening is not, it's just a manifestation of a whole heap of things that have gone wrong with our society. And so yes, it is long-standing. Yes, a lot of people who, and I was just listening to Chimamanda Adichie, who is a very well-known Nigerian writer, and in her talk about a single story, I don't know if you ever hear it yet, Bev.
No.
When she said a single story told to a people becomes accepted as the way. So over time, and if you notice, Bev, that sometimes when if a rape takes place or an abduction takes place or the murdering of a woman takes place, it's like some copycat people get evil people get energy from it and continues that trend over weeks and days and months. And that is what it reminded me of. Because we're not saying to keep silent, we're not saying not to talk about it, but I'm saying that you have some people where the energy transfers to them. And so yes, I don't want to say it is cultural, but it's becoming too commonplace in our society.
When I say it is cultural, this culture of being quiet and the culture of being silent and the culture of turning your eye and the culture of saying, I know me, so me not say nothing, I feed them business, that kind of mindset. When I say it is cultural, it is a cultural blind eye, I call it. People not care, people not business until it happened to them. You see, everybody start get busy. But what about when it happened to the girl before? What about when it happened to the woman before? What about when it happened, to other people or in other communities? We are too quiet in this country, especially in the church. The church have a way of keeping things under wraps. We have seen it recently where there are some pastors and so who those couldn't be kept under the carpet anymore. They had to come out with it. So we now see that even in the church now, they might get convicted and so on. But it take too long, but better late than never, some would say.
Oh boy.
Me no know Donnery, but we need to talk about it. And when I listen to you, especially when I spoke to you yesterday, and you said, Bev, any which part me talk about this, And you gave me this.
And you're breaking up a bit. I'm not sure if it's my technology over here, but I could understand what you're saying. Let me know if you're hearing me clear.
Yes, I'm hearing you clearly.
Okay. All right. So this yeah, man, I'm hearing you. So this silence, the deafening silence or the deadly silence as well. It's not new as well. And so this whole Anofime business, my daughter, I don't know where it came from. I don't know but I don't know where it stemmed from. But in recent times, maybe in the last 10 or 15 years, you would have heard people talking about not being able to trust the police. And it's not just not trusting the police, because I have also seen in instances, because I've worked with the police on a project for over 3 years, and what we also found was that I'm not removing blame or fault from them, but I'm also giving a balanced view of when people say they don't trust the police. A lot of people, when they give police information, they also give the same information to three of them best friends.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So they sometimes put themselves in harm's way, and then the rest of the population hears of one person that went to the police and then got killed. And then they say, is the police release the information? And I want to say again, I'm not saying the police is innocent in all of this, but we must look at it full circle round. As well. And so this not loving the neighbor like yourself, not seeing the neighbor's child as your own. And then when it comes around to recognizing that people who don't love their children can't love other people's children.
You're so right.
If you don't love yourself, if you don't love your own family, if you don't protect your own, you don't have the capacity to be a protector of the other person. And so that too can be part of the mix that is causing this turn a blind eye. And so there is no one way to look at it. There is no single solution to it. But we must continue the discourse, and the well-thinking set of us must remain vocal, not just talk, but to do as well. And that's something that I started a conversation around this morning. How do we, the well-thinking among us, not wait on the state, not wait on foreign funding? How do we join hands and hearts together to support our fellow brothers and sisters and children across the nation? How do we do that? And so what I recognize over time as well, Bev, is that there's a lot of disjointed when them feel like sometime intervention taking place. Because there are a lot of state agencies, there are private there are NGOs as well, but there's not a joint up holistic approach. And everybody just do what them feel like, when them feel like. And there is no scientific approach to the intervention, or not enough. So if there's science behind it, it might be just in a particular area or a region. But how can you not look at how a spider web is formed and everything is joined up to make it whole and strong? Why can't we come together as a people to get it right for the rest of us? Because we can't wait and see it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Donna. And when we spoke yesterday, you were sharing with me that you don't wait on any particular place to talk about this issue. Anywhere you are, whether the argument come up or not, you find a way how to start that argument and to engage whomever it is that is around you. And I found it interesting when you spoke about the construction site. Talk to me on that.
All right, so let me give you a little backstory. So I grew up in a shop. So I grew up in a matriarchal space. My grandmother was a strong person. My mother is a silent, strong person. So my mother is not the talkative person like me. But my mother she's protective as well of every girl in this space. I find that even though I wasn't brave enough to go to my mother to say some things, my friends were comfortable to go to my mother.
Okay.
It kind of, I think other people can connect with that as well.
Yeah.
But I have other adults that I could go to. So back to me growing up in a shop.
Yeah.
I have to be selling in the shop because that is just how it is. The space was a popular space. I found that my voice began to develop in that shop. So, boys out at shop front and out at square front, and the discussions would take place about girls and how them talk about girls and what them do to girls and all of these things. It always made me uncomfortable, and I would always find a way to say, hey, and I see you talk about females, and I see you talk about girls. If a girl catcalling is not something that I condone, and I'm not comfortable about it either. And so even catcalling I would speak out about. And so fast forward, if I go to the hairdresser shop now, and a hairdresser shop mean majority females in there. If some just predominantly females alone. And it is frightening sometimes how females fault victims or guilt victims.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit there and allow it to go by. I'm going to correct the conversation. I don't care who you are. I am always going to say, you do not know the story. You understand? Why is it that the girl is always the one that places herself in the predicament?
Yeah.
You understand? It no matter what a female wear, it no matter where she live, it no matter which family she belong to, it no matter what she do for a living, whether she's a stripper or an attorney, it no matter if she's a farmer, if she is assaulted, if she's abused, if she's raped, if she's kidnapped, she did nothing to cause it on herself.
And no one should blame.
And so no one should blame. And a lot of times why girls refuse to speak up and report crimes committed against them is because of what us as a people say about them, and them say it better me keep quiet. It better me not have to go through this again. You understand? And so we silence victims. We silence them. We shut them in. And so we have a whole heap of things that manifest, and we have cycles continuing. And so I work on a construction site now. First time ever working on a construction site. I take on this new challenge because I want to learn something new. And I've been on it for about 6 weeks or more.
Okay.
And Bev, I set the tone in that space. Because as women, we must set the tone. Do not be afraid to set the tone. Because I'm going to tell you, sometimes I think men don't know better. And it's not just on my construction site. But I'm going to use my construction site now. And I've worked in other male-dominated space before. I've worked in logistics. I've worked in rough communities. I've worked with gangs. I've worked with at-risk people. And so when the conversation starts and you find that the men are not carrying the right tone, the right line.
You have to change the direction.
But change the direction because me going to assume say them don't know better. And so it's not about fighting with them. It's about educating them. And people might ask, but what if I'm not educated enough? And I said yesterday on a live that I did, you don't have to know the academic terminologies to use. You understand? Start conversations and you will find that over time, you will develop the right tone, the right words. Go read, do some research. Understand what gender-based violence is. Understand what violence against women is. And understand all these. Just take some time. There is a lot of information on the internet. You understand? That can empower you, educate you as to how to understand better what is happening so that you can speak on the matter in your small spaces. I was talking to a colleague today, she's a female, and the same thing she said to me. She said, what if I don't know how to articulate it? I said, let me tell you something. Start, and you will find that somebody else will chip in. Because if you're in a taxi, and the taxi driver go and class another female driver on the road, don't stay silent. Find a nice way to say, boy, you know, so you could have said that little better. Don't start a fight. Don't start an argument. Have conversations with people. Assume that they don't know better. Use the time and the opportunity. And that is how we're going to coach them into this. I made a post on my Facebook page and 2 men came on it last night. I delete them posts because I don't want it on my page. You understand? They're saying that women don't respect themselves. Women need to learn to respect themselves and other women. And I'm saying, so because you claim women don't respect themselves, that makes it okay for you to disrespect every woman because in your wisdom, you've seen a few women who don't respect themselves or don't respect other women.
That is the excuse, Donnery, and that is where the victim blame starts. So whatever happened, them say, but woman no respect themselves and she shouldn't have on that pan road and she shouldn't do this and she shouldn't do that. Nobody is saying the man should not have done that. The man, every time you hear the talk, she shouldn't do this and she wrong and she this and she that. But I don't want you to leave from the construction site yet. I want to hear how you deal with it as a female, and for the most part, I would imagine that it's men who are on the site.
Yeah, man, I'm mostly men on the site. Maybe just I'm there every day, and you might have just a female that operates the cafeteria, and you will have I remember when we started, we had a female steel worker on it, and my other colleague that comes there every now and then. So for me, in setting the tone, in hearing the conversations, me butt in. I'm always say like, oh, what you say, brother? What you just say? What you can't go so? And he must say, like, what you mean? You understand? Because how me approach it now.
Yeah.
So then you think that's right. You think that if I did your sister, you would have said the same thing.
Yeah.
You think you would have feel good if somebody said that about your mother or your daughter. You understand? And so when I make it personal to them, the conversation usually changes and it allows me to have a moment, which is why I call it an empowered interaction. Because every interaction should empower not just the other person, but you in the process.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's my mantra, empowered interactions. And so it is, as I say, it is not fighting with them. It's a moment to educate them because I assume they don't know better. And I take the responsibility to educate them on how to speak about women and how to know, put things into perspective from the other side. And it works. To tell you the truth, if them even have those conversations on the site, I don't hear it. But why I do that is I believe in the ripple effect. Because when you start change how them process these things and how them have conversations about these things in the space that I manage, I am confident that when them go back to them space, them communities, when them go back to the barber shop, when them go back to the bar, wherever they are, if it's even one of them, if it's even one, because I will be repeatedly immersing these things in the conversations that we have. I'm going to find some way, because I'm on a mission, Bev. I'm on a mission. And so, every chance me get, as we say, if a taxi, if a supermarket, if a hairdresser, if a the tax office line, wherever I am, if I the garage me go, if I the car wash me go, I am going to be pushing this conversation.
And that is what
I would us as women. You said something a while ago.
I'm saying that is what all of us have to do. So we don't have to have no training in advocacy. We don't have to graduate from UWI or any other institution with anything in anything. We just know that when we go and we hear and we see, we have to be active. We have to talk because it needs to be spoken about. We have to talk about it.
And you came on to something to say you don't have to be a university graduate, because over time, what we have seen in Jamaica is just a set of people who've always been on the media. They did a good job. They've been doing a good job of talking about it. But how them articulate it makes it
people,
it intimidates the ordinary person to have the conversation. It makes them feel as if them inadequate. It makes them feel as if them not have no authority to speak on the subject matter. And that is what I want to get across importantly while you and I speak, Bev. That everybody can talk about it. You can talk about it if you're a country woman, you can talk about when you go to river for go wash. You can talk about it when you go to the post office. You can, wherever you stand up in the square or wait on a taxi, if you're in the bus, you can talk about it. My mouth loud for a long time, and I will not be silent. You have the authority to speak on the matter. You are a woman. You have the authority to speak on the matter. Talk about how you feel, and also say, I do not understand enough about it. Reach out to somebody who you think can help you along the path to develop your understanding. And so churches need to keep gatherings to talk about this.
Yeah, of
not
course.
Just Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
But this
churches need to talk about it.
A lot of church sisters are suffering this kind of thing, this kind of crime against them.
Ben, you know? Me know about church sister, you know, where them husband who are elder who preach at church beat them and them can't leave the home.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
You understand? Pastor. Because when pastor tell them say you cannot break up the marriage, it won't look good for elder. It won't look good for deacon. You understand?
And so they have to remain silent.
They have to remain silent. And people might ask, so why them not run away? Let me tell you something. A woman that stays in an abusive relationship stays because she has been programmed to believe that she has no other choice. And so we must go ahead, Bev.
Let me tell you something, you see? And it's not only uneducated women who suffer this kind of thing. There was once somebody, she shared her story with me, and her husband is a pastor. She's a teacher, he's a teacher, but he has a big position. I think second to the pastor in the church. And when she tell me some of the things what the man does, this is a teacher, I know. When she tell me some of the things that him do, me say, you're joke. And she go to church and she said, when I go to church and see him up there, me say, why in the middle of the church when him up there preaching or come out and just talk? She said, no, she don't want the shame. Me say, but you will suffer the beat up and you will suffer the crime that he's committing again. Seriously, I'm telling you, it even affected
I believe you. I believe you.
Until one of the time, the children had to move up because they were adult children, right? They had to move up because they couldn't deal with the fact that this was happening. And the man continued as next to the pastor. You see him on a Saturday when you go to that church. You would have never, ever imagined that he behaves like that at home. And she's not going away. And she's a teacher, well educated too.
Bev, I would have given a testimony in a church, you see. Bev, we must not give them safe space.
No.
We must not give abusers safe space. We must not protect their peace. We must not protect their reputation. We must use every opportunity to out them. You understand?
Yeah.
And so she's saying that she doesn't want to suffer the shame. Whose shame?
That is
whose shame is it? Whose shame? They are narcissists.
I want to read some comments that's coming in on Facebook because Cultural Mix is an interactive program. So we have our Facebook friends. Kay is saying last night she couldn't sleep at all because of the news of the teacher from Clarendon where they found her body. It stained her heart. She couldn't breathe. She was panicking. And that's one of the things that is happening, Donnery. When people hear these things, other females panic when they hear it, because them say, suppose it happened to me. Especially females who live alone, them start to panic. So it creates a different kind of stress now that we also need to talk about. Canute, thank you for joining, Canute. And Canute is in Ontario. Very good conversation. He also says, I like how Donnery thinks and reasons. She analyzes well and has a good approach. Great conversation, Bev. And Kay, of course. So Anthony D is referring to the church person I was speaking to. She should have speak in tongues and cuss him. So people are talking back with us. Kay again says blame game. And Kay says she draw a chair and sit down for listen. So people are listening and being a part of the conversation. So as you were saying, Donnery, we are not to give them any safe space. We need to talk.
No safe space. None at all.
Yeah.
You talk. Look here, even become an anonymous person and look here, write your story and paste it on walls in the community so that people can know about it. Send out signals. You understand? I'm going to tell you something, you know. You see, the signs are usually there.
Yeah.
An abusive partner doesn't become abusive overnight. They don't just wake up and become an abuser. I'm going to tell you something. When I was younger, in my 20s, I had it was I never reached 20. Maybe I was 19. Yeah, 19. About that time, I had a boyfriend, and him said to me, "Say, there's something to get eaten." And I'm saying, "We just feel like thumping in your face."
What?
That was the first, yeah, man. Him said, "We just feel like thumping in your face." That was I mean, we were new in the relationship, a tryout relationship.
And that him feel like?
And yes, when him said that, Bev, him feel like that because me feisty. Me feisty. Me gonna stand my ground. And him said, "Must feel like thumping in your face." And that was it for me.
Yeah.
I said to him, I said, "Look here, I'm not gonna tell you that you can't do it. But that will not be the end of it." And I said, as a matter of fact,
let's end it.
It done. I couldn't believe.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna stand foolishness. And I'm gonna say it again. Women, the signs are there. I don't joke around with people. Don't slap me. Don't hold me in a joke. Don't hold me hand too tight in a joke. Don't even say things to me in jest that's gonna cause me to feel uncomfortable or threatened. And so look out, have a high sensibility when these things are happening. If them go and check your phone, it's a signal. If they're always gonna be calling you, wanting to know who your friends are, and if they want to tell you that if every friend you have, your partner is finding a fault with that friend and is telling you to stop talking to that friend, what they're doing, it's a tactic to alienate you from the people closest to you, so that they can hold you hostage without a string. And so that you don't have anybody to turn to. And so that the closest people who know you best, you don't see them anymore for them to see that something is even wrong in your space and that you're talking different. And that is what they do.
Yes.
And so we have to teach our girls from early, and we have to, even adult women, we have to hold space for them, Bev. We just have to talk. We have to go and use social media now and send out messages. If it's even some 30 seconds on our timeline. Us as women that are listening, and even men that are listening, that are on our side, that are in this fight together with us. Because I'm not gonna blanket all men. Not all men are abusers. Not all men are rapists. We have some firm men in Jamaica who are on our side. They are protective of us and they will do anything to keep us safe. And I want to say, big up those men. Let us use social media as the tool that can get to women that are in danger. Bev, some serious things.
Gracia Thompson, and Gracia is my friend. She says, we are living in fear.
Fear is normal and it is natural and it is a protective force. But when you allow fear to cripple you, fear wins. Fear is healthy. Fear is natural. What you do with fear is what is important.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to tell you don't be afraid, because I am afraid too. I am afraid too. You see, the teacher in a Clarendon, it hurt me because her story is exactly the story that happened to my father.
Wow.
My father was murdered. His body was dumped over a precipice.
Wow.
They had his car driving with the same license plate. When we found him 8 days later, he was decomposed. The stench of the flesh stayed in my mental space for years. And so the murder in our country, while I'm talking about my father, I'm saying what is happening in the country is not just unique to women and girls, but we are focusing on our women and girls today. So I don't want no man feel like we are blind to what is happening to male. But what is happening to the female, gender-based violence is crimes committed against women in this case because they are female. So the crimes committed against them, it's because they are women and girls. And that is why we look at it. And that is, it's a rape of a girl. The man rape her because she's a girl.
Yeah.
The man rape her because in him messed up mind, what he gets from raping that girl, he would not get it from a boy. Which is why we focus on women, because of course they say that we are the weaker sex. They say that we are vulnerable. And of course the statistics show that we are vulnerable. Men attack us because they know that they are stronger. They know that it's a power dynamics at play. And so even the man of God, so to speak, in the church, he knows that he holds a position in the church of power.
Yeah.
And a position of power in the home, which is why he does that to his wife and children.
Yeah.
Because even though he would have been physically assaulting the wife and abusing the wife, he's emotionally abusing the children.
Children, yes.
And so it's not a one victim crime taking place. Everybody else in the household is abused in the process, which is why the children had to leave. Yeah. And it is sad that not even the children could speak out. So it shows the kind of mind control that man has on his family.
Manipulation.
He's a demon.
He is. So Kanyut is saying, yes, you made the right decision. The fact that he told you he felt like thumping you in your face was a clear sign he would be an abuser and a woman beater.
And he is, because I've heard of stories of what he did to partners subsequent to me.
Right. So K saying, don't say it's finished, just leave. Because sometimes you advise them that you're going to finish it, or you finish it right there, and there comes some kind of crime against you. So just leave.
And K is so right. K is so right. I'm gonna interject. K is so right. Do not give them notice. Do not give them notice. Have your plan, and which is why I say, when you say financial independence is important, and a lot of men continue to abuse women, and women stay in abusive relationship because they think they have nowhere to go, which is why I say the state is failing our women, because every parish should have at least one women's shelter that women can run to as a safe space.
In the
and our welfare system, our social security system is non-existent. It is, look here, we not have no social security system in Jamaica. We don't have protective mechanism for nobody at all, whether man, woman, or child. We don't have it. You understand? And so what happened is that government come out, and every now and then you hear them make some big grand announcement that they're gonna build this and they're gonna build that. Where is it?
Not build nothing.
Them not build nothing. All them doing when it's near to election, you see them make some grand announcement. You You understand? And so women who can't leave, I have a girlfriend right now. We are creating a strategy for her to exit that space. I'm not gonna say much about that. You understand? But a lot of women can't run, they can't move because they have nowhere to go. In them headspace, them have nowhere to go. Thanks, Kay, for reminding me. Do not announce your exit. Plan your exit strategy and cut.
Yeah.
And if don't reach out to them, change your phone number.
Yeah.
If you have children, run.
Run with them, yes.
And the next thing as well, Bev, police stations, when a woman who is abused and run to the police station, or if she calls for help, there is no agency in the middle of the night that is open that a police can call to say me need backup, me need support. So if in the middle of the night, any one of our listeners or yourself, Bev, called to say that you suspect that your neighbor is abusing his daughter, the police going to tell you, say, even if me come for the child, we don't have a juvenile facility. All of the other agencies locked down. The police is the only organization that operates 24/7, otherwise from the hospital. And so if you call them, it's like them hands tied. Because no other agents not open. Everybody works 8 to 5 or 8 to 9, 8 to 4 and gone home. What are we offering our people?
Nothing, no hope.
And just this administration that take place.
Yeah. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. And from one administration to the next is the same thing. Nothing is changed. Nothing has changed. And it is us, women, with the men who are with us, who have to go make the change. May I tell you? Because, listen, I heard, and I think you tell me yesterday, acquaintance violence. That is what them call it now. Separated it from downright criminal behavior. It is now called acquaintance violence. What is that?
Me don't know what it is in a Bev. But I may be wrong. But how I feel about it is that it makes it not seem as serious as anything else. Oh, it's acquaintance violence, and what also fuels is the whole re-victiming.
Yeah.
Or victimizing the victim. So people go say, but she didn't know him. They must did in a something. Or something she do him. You understand? And so, while it speaks to the other part of why are people who know each other harming each other? So when you look, so that's one side of it, because that's what an acquaintance is. Somebody that you know, whether a brother, a sister, a cousin, because you're acquainted with the person, whether an ex-lover, whether your neighbor, whether somebody you see every day at the bus stop and you'll probably exchange pleasantries with them. That's an acquaintance.
Yeah.
You understand? And when you say acquaintance, it is like a systematic desensitization to the seriousness of the issue.
Yeah.
It's like it reduces the extent of it.
It completely reduces it.
You understand? And so I'm not comfortable with the terminology. Just like I'm not comfortable with the terminology that says sex with a person under the age of 16. Sex with.
That's rape.
And it is on the books. And so the police has to log it as that. It has to be in the statistics as sex with a person under the age of 16 and not rape.
It is rape.
You understand? And so that again is also like acquaintance violence.
Yeah.
Remove the seriousness, the severity of it.
And the criminal behavior that it is.
You understand?
How did you ever
consider downright criminal and animalistic
behavior? Yeah. Acquaintance violence. So what? Because it's acquaintance, violence is no longer a criminal act?
I don't know if that terminology is in any one of the legislations. I don't know if it's just like, I don't know if on our laws that terminology is printed, where if a charge is gonna be made, the judge going to say that what me don't know. So me don't know if somebody just exercise them vocabulary. me don't know. Me seriously don't know. But it hurt me.
Yes, it's not something that we're to talk. We must encourage. We must call it out, because that is the only way, Donnery, I believe, that the problem can be solved. We have to call it what it is. We have to say what it is, because if we continue to dance around, if we continue to evade the thing, if we continue to call it pretty names like acquaintance violence, we are not going to deal with it. So we have to call it out as what it is, and that is the only way, when we call it out, that we can actually find a way how to deal with it. But if we continue to pretty it up, what we're going to get? No pretty actions going to take?
Look here, and like my very good lady from Portland said, pretty talking don't do this, action do that. And so, I like her, you see, because just like myself, people did say she not sound like how she look, and them use it against her again. But enough of that.
Mm-hmm,
and
yes.
I just say we have to call out the evil by its name, and we have to disempower it by calling it the right name. And even in healing processes, women have to call out the atrocities committed against them by its name.
Yeah.
Even in the healing process, we have to call the atrocity by its name.
Yes.
So that we can strip it from us. Disempower it.
Yeah.
Remove the trauma by name. Write it down on paper for the healing to begin. And that is something that you're going to probably have to talk about if you never talk about it yet on your program. How do we heal individually, and how do we heal collectively from all of what is happening there?
Yes. Yes.
You understand?
Yeah, Donnery, there's so much to talk about. This thing about wanting the female is she must always do things. There is nothing that says the man just nothing do this. The female must make sure she do this. When you're going out, you must make sure you. Why does that have to happen? You must make sure you walk in groups. You must make sure you do this. Don't leave your drink unattended. Don't do this. What is there for the man not to do?
I'm going to take that from the point of view, or from the perspective of how we raise girls versus how we raise boys. And so traditionally, and still is, you have roles in the home for girls and roles in the home for boys. So girls must always be pretty and cute and pleasant and polite, even to people who harm them.
Yeah.
And girls must wash plate, and girls must know how to keep a home. And girls must be courteous. And girls, and for keeping a home and being ladylike. But the boy can out a door. The boy can play football. The boy can walk up and down from morning till night. And when they become teenagers, the girl must not lose her virginity until she married. But the boy is encouraged to have multiple sexual partners and be irresponsible.
Yeah.
And I always ask, so if you raise your son to be a gallus or to be irresponsible, who for daughter? No more somebody else's daughter.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Him go and practice that with.
Yeah.
You understand?
As plain as that.
If you want to raise your son to respect and appreciate, and that is where inequality stems from. You understand? So it starts from there. And then the girl now become a target for attack.
Yeah.
Because she is sweet and soft and nice and weak.
Mm-hmm.
And so she becomes a prey because we've been raising a prey and we've been raising a predator as well.
Yeah. So it is a girl's code. Some people call
We're going to come back to
the girl's code.
Yesterday or the day before, I saw a friend on social media, and I know in real life as well. Nice lady.
Mm-hmm.
How I interpret it is not how she is a different way she interprets it.
Mm-hmm.
So the girls' code, which wasn't the first time I'm seeing it, I've seen it before.
Okay.
But because it resurfaced now, what it was saying is that a girl, same thing we say, a girl mustn't leave her drink unattended.
Mm-hmm.
A girl must always go out in groups with your friends. So what if me don't have no group of female friends and we want to go out? I must go nowhere. I must stand in my yard.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go out, don't walk off with no strange man, or don't walk off with any man for that matter of fact, away from your friends. And if your friends are ready, you should be ready as well. And if one person is the driver must remain sober to protect the other girls. And for that matter, nobody mustn't get drunk. None of the female mustn't get drunk. And when everybody reach home, if them take separate taxis, everybody must call in to say we are home. All good and well, they want to make your friend them know say you reach home, yes. But nowhere in that girl's code mentions, yeah, you're right, it's a girl code. But then I'm asking, who is writing do not rape, do not assault, do not disrespect, do not abuse, do not abduct, do not kill, do not speak down to a girl? Who is going to write that code? Does it exist? I don't know. I've never seen it before.
Maybe we have
to responsibility. Maybe we have to go write it.
Yeah.
You understand? And so nowhere, it is often, as I say, often the burden of responsibility is on the female to protect and stand guard.
Protect herself.
From these predators.
And when they do come and commit a crime against her now.
As some she never do right.
Yeah. So she's blamed again. And what you call it now? What that word we have to go make up now? She's a second victim.
Again. And when she got to the police and report it, she have to report it 3, 4, 5 times. And when she go to therapy, she have to repeat it 3, 4, 5 times. And when she go to court, she have to repeat it again.
Yeah.
And so it's just the trauma cycle continues and it never closes. And so back to the male, where the male is not told, don't catcall, don't touch without permission, do not abduct, do not rape, do not kill, do not assault. You understand?
Yeah.
And so nobody questions, what right do you have? Who gives you the power over the female? You understand?
Yes.
Who gives you the authority? Where you get the audacity from?
You see, Donnery, I see where mothers, you see, have to start playing now an important role, because this is how it starts, you know. We who have boy children, we need to raise them good. We need to give them values. We need to raise them with values for them know what them not to do and what them to do. What is accepted and what is. We have to write the code for them as mothers. And you have a son, I have 3.
Hey.
And I can tell you that I had to write that code along with a strong father who always speak out for the female. Big up yourself, Imara.
Imara, I respect you so much.
Yes.
Social media, and Anud introduced me to you. And I said, one love, my brother.
Yes.
One, you get it right.
We have to write the code for them. So if you're in a relationship with somebody and she say, me not feel like you're in a relationship here anymore, you should not have that right to say you can't go and you not go. And if me not get you, nobody else can get you. We have to raise our boy children to understand, say, you know, oh, nobody. And when they want, you can't hold people hostage. You don't have that right. So we as mothers, we have a responsibility. And I think, say, some of we take up the responsibility there at all. We are giving the boy them too much free hand to do everything. And it is those same boys who come in some cases and commit crimes against women and girls. We have a problem. I wanted to just make you hear some of the comments here on Facebook. Well, Anthony D, he's saying euphemism when we talk about acquaintance violence. Gracia says this particular discussion ought to go nationwide. It's going worldwide, Gracia, because people on fitfmja.com all over the world, Uganda, we just heard somebody shouting out from Uganda. So people all over, they are hearing. But what I think ought to happen, Donnery, more we have to talk about it. More we have to talk about. As I said earlier, make we use a little space. We depend on social media, we depend on Facebook, we depend on Instagram, do a little live every other day or something. Engage people. We have to do it where we are because we realize that nobody now do it, and we are suffer as women.
It's not fashionable. It's not fashionable, and only when we have a spike like this, people talk about it. It has to be a constant and consistent discourse. And as we said, the more people become comfortable with talking about it, because again, some people feel like they don't have the authority because they don't have nothing behind their name and they're not aligned to no organization. So them go and wait until women's rights people and advocates and all of these, you see, talk about it. But be an advocate. Everybody is. If you have what makes you an advocate is when you have a concern, and you are passionate about it, and you speak. If you can draw your message. That's what I want to tell people. Advocacy is not just talking. If you are not a chatterbox like me, but you are able to write 2 paragraphs, send it to the newspaper, send it to your church, write it on your Facebook page if you're not a talker. If you are good with art, draw something, the message will come out. If you are a singer, put the message in a song. If you like poetry, put your message in a poetry. That is advocacy. And also, if you reach out to your neighbor, so you don't have to be loud and out in the public, but you can show support and solidarity with your fellow sisters right in your little small space wherever you are. That is advocacy.
Yes.
Reach out to a family. Make them know so they can contact you, and when they talk to you, you're not going to tell everybody, but you will find. And you see, we need to start publishing spaces and organizations that people can go to, because I tend to talk about Eve for Life. Eve for Life is a powerhouse of an organization that is doing tremendous support for victims of gender-based violence. And so that's one of the organizations that you can reach out to people.
What is
but
it?
I want to jump back to Eve, EVE, for FORLIFE. Joy Crawford runs that organization.
Okay.
And I mean, awesome organization. And let me tell us, quality work, and them are reach and them are make impact. So it's not just one of them where come out to showcase, them are do real grassroots work. It is being done. You mentioned writing the boys' code and how we raise boys. I'm going to tell you. My son, only Pitney, 13 years old, in high school now.
Joshua, big up Joshua.
Big up Joshua. I'm going to tell you something. I'm proud of him. Like how I'm proud of your Pitney them. Because over time I've seen him express interest in terms of the questions when he asks me, and just the things when want to articulate and do. Him jumping on my conversation them all the time.
Yeah.
But I raised him in a way where maybe me never have no choice. So when I was doing my community work, I would have carry him, go on a workshop them. When they were not appropriate for his age group, I would have either have him sit down outside at the training room with a responsible adult or another person. And but when there were other times when he could sit in some of those workshops or discussions. And so him absorb the information. And the first time I really realized him a take on to a code. We're in Kingston and he was outside with the boys on the complex here where I live. And him coming in. I hear a line of conversation was taking place outside, but because I'm outside, I couldn't hear everything. But I was becoming uncomfortable. But me say, let me go and watch them, Bev. And to cut a long story short, him come in. And when him come in, him look so perturbed. Me say, why you come in? Him say, Mom, him can't stay out there, so. So me say, why you can't stay out there, so? Him say, them not talk kindly about girls. I mean, I like it. So even though he did not feel strong enough for a call, because these were bigger boys, to stop them, he removed himself from this space.
He could stay, yes.
So that is a start.
It's a sign.
Yes. 2 weeks ago, he saw an advertisement on cable TV, and he said, Mommy, me never know say women have to buy tampons. Me say, what you mean? He said, like, women have to buy tampons. Me say, yes, when I got to the pharmacy or the supermarket, I pick it up with my grocery. He said, I see you with it, but I never realized that you have to buy, or it's because you want to buy it because you can afford it. I said, what are you getting at? Him say, so why? So me say, what is a tampon? Just to see if him know what I'm talking about. And him explain or him understand it, which he was right. And him said, so like I think there was like a woman's clinic where women could go and collect it if they need it.
Look there.
So me said, no, baby, no, that's not how it is. And then I introduced him to the concept of period poverty. And he became so concerned. And he was asking me, how can he contribute to providing female hygiene products? So I connect him with the her flow movement, and he's drafting his strategy as to how he can either raise funds or bring awareness to the matter of collecting feminine products to be distributed to women and girls that are in need. And because so
that is a serious thing, Donnery. A lot of people don't know that a number of our young women, they suffer this kind of thing when that time of the month comes. Them don't know what to do. Some of them have to drop out of school because they don't have the appropriate thing for school and so on. It is really bad in some instances in Jamaica here,
I explained it to him and he was appalled. You know what he said to me, Bev? He said, Mommy, but it is a natural biological process. Why aren't they supported? Sometimes, not just in Jamaica, but across the world, girls miss out on them education.
Yeah.
When a mother goes to the supermarket to buy food or the shop to buy food, if she needs these products, and her children need food, she go buy the food.
She go and buy the food.
And find other means. And I'm saying, women have to drop out from work.
Yeah.
Women have to curtail their movements. Girls have to lose out on education. And when a girl does not get a good education, the cycle of poverty continues.
It continues.
And so that's the kind of conversation I'm having with him. And I want him to feel comfortable enough to have these conversations with his peers.
Yes. Donnery? Say 7:53.
Oh, Jesus, we are chatting along, so.
We could have talked forever, but before we go, let me tell you what I want you who to speak to. You see those, whether it's a adult woman or a young girl at this moment who is in a situation that they're not comfortable with. Abusive. Somebody's committing a crime against them, but they're fearful. They don't know what to do.
First and foremost, I am going to say, sister, daughter, you are worthy You are loved. You are beautiful. You are here for a purpose. You are queen. You are princess. You are what we need. Do not be defined by what an abusive spouse, brother, friend says to you. That doesn't define you.
Mm-hmm.
You can resurface if you feel that you are in too deep.
Mm-hmm.
There is a community of us that are holding space for you.
Mm-hmm.
You have so much to give this world. Do not be boxed in a corner. Even if you're bent, remember that you are not broken. The next part of it that I want to say as well, Bev, speak up, speak out. You did not cause this on yourself. Guilt and shame has no place here. Rubbish it. What you are not defined by what has happened to you. And if you have daughters that are abused, sexually abused, physically or emotionally abused, reaffirm them. If you are the mother, the big cousin, or the auntie that is facilitating crime against a girl, stop it. Do not destroy our girls. Do not become the facilitator of crimes. Do not sell our girls into sex slaves. Do not hand them over to sex traffickers. Feed them. Feed them spiritually. Redefine who you think a woman is. Associate yourself with positive messages and images of women. It doesn't matter what you've done before, you can be rebirthed. You can be renewed. You can be transformed. You do not need to continue along the path that you've created if you are a facilitator of crime against another female. And I'm going to say that we must all work together to break this chain, break this curse.
It is a curse.
It is a curse. Because I know of families who the mother was abused, the daughter is abused, and the granddaughter. And so what they do is they don't know how else reach out, bawl out for help. Question yourself, whose shame, whose pride are you protecting? Come out. Find a way. And I'm going to repeat what our sister says. If you are trapped in an abusive relationship, do not announce your exit.
Thank you, Kay, for that.
Do not announce your exit. My dear friend's mother announced her exit. She was killed by her husband and buried in 3 places right here, so in Jamaica, 2006.
Wow.
Because she announced her exit.
Yes.
It cannot get any worse than this.
Donnery?
Well, I hope it will never get worse than this. But we'll continue to hold space. We'll continue to hope for the best.
Yes.
We'll continue to push out the positive spirit.
Yeah.
We are here to affirm you, and we love you.
Thank you. We love you here at Fit FM 96.7. And Cultural Mix is saying, Donnery Muirhead, the crown goes to you this evening. You have placed it in a way, you have put it in a way that even anybody, the babe, could understand what you're saying. Your discussion with me this evening was very, very effective. People hear it, people see it, people talking about it. People Anthony in Philadelphia is saying there must be a part 1 and a part 2 and a part 3. Well, this is part 1, part 2 and part 3. Enlightened and enlightening. Tavia Foster is saying, Kay is saying, you think we easy, Donnery? Anthony D, you taught your son well. And everybody's saying, you have done an awesome job here this evening in talking to me. We couldn't even play one music. We couldn't even break. You know, realize in talking because the thing is so engaging. Me couldn't break. Me just have to just talk. We thank you so much, my sister. May the ancestors continue to be with you and to guide you and to strengthen you and for you to understand that you are here for a reason. You are here for a purpose and you cannot not do your purpose. We thank you so much.
Purpose will never die.
Yes. We thank you so much for being here and for talking with us. We salute you, Donnery Muirhead. Big up yourself and let us continue on this journey of empowering women and girls in Jamaica to understand that they don't deserve anything better than the best, anything less than the best. That is what we all deserve as females, as women. Thank you, my sister. God bless you and big up Joshua.
Blessings. Big up yourself and big up Julia. I know that she's there producing.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I could not help but to share my voice and to accept your invitation. And as I say, as we connect on a spiritual level, and we will continue this good fight. Blessings.
Thank you, Donnery. All the best. Bless you, my sister. Bless you so much. Wow, people, we're right on the nick of 8 o'clock. We want to thank everyone who tuned in to us. Big up on yourself. Be with us again next Friday, all being well. We thank you. Continue to talk about the issues that affect us as women. Empower someone when you can. And remember, you don't have to have any degree to be an advocate. Talk. Be brave. Take your time and come out of the fear because it's natural. We are going to conquer and we have to conquer. Thank you, everybody. It has been an awesome show. God bless you. Come back next week, Friday. Thank you, Julia.
I never knew anyone so one of a kind until the night that I seen your rise. My queen, so supreme. I can see it in her eyes, the way she smiles. Hey, yes I know the king and queen crown, see I'm tired, so I never
Fit FM is owned and operated by Communistation Company Limited, located in Stuart Castle, Duncan's Trelawney, Jamaica. We broadcast on FM 96.7 locally and is heard worldwide on fitfmja.com.